We did a study last year, and Park Uganda was a focal point organization, and I was the focal point person. So we looked at the status of policing in our region. Basically, we were interested in the status of the police stations. So what we found out was that a number of things. One, the facilities, the housing facilities for our police officers were wanting. When we visited some police stations like in Ikumi, the police were using dilapidated, condemned houses. In places like Katine, there were no facilities. They had about 3 uniforms, and it's a district police headquarters. And in other places, there were threats of police land being encroached. And then the deployment percent level was low, was also had a challenge. So there's what they call the deployable percentage was only at 70%. When you talk of deployment percentage, it means if you have 100 officers, how many can you actually deploy? So you find that in a place like Ikumi, it was around 69% to 70%. So that means there were people who were about to retire, there were people who had got injuries, there were people who could not be taken to work at night, and these are the issues. And then the condition of facilitation of the force was very low. They lacked a number of facilities, therefore their response mechanism was very weak. If you looked at Katakwi, for example, they had the motorcycles, they have about 6 police stations, but they don't have the motorcycles that can create response. Number of them were not working. A number of district offices like Ngora were in a very sorrow state. So that was the situation then. So, and of course, the relationship between the public and the police was always challenging. If you look at most reports, they say that the most corrupt and so on. And you know, these are injured the public perception on them. So that was then, and that formed part of our sub-regional report to Kampala, and most of those issues are captured here. There was also the issue of capacity of our force to respond immediately, and I think I've talked about that. So these are the issues which we saw here, which were reported, and which culminated into this statement, which has about 17 recommendations, which can be clustered into about 4, according to our team here. There are recommendations on capacity enhancement, there are recommendations on reforms, reforming the law, reforming the institution. There are statements on strengthening citizens so that they can be able to demand accountability and to hold the security sector accountable. And then there are areas to do with the coordination. Because I remember one member, if you read here, there was a need. How does human rights coordinate with the police? What about the judiciary? That coordination was challenging.
As far as previous offenses by police, the torturing and the abuse of human rights, so far we have not had any serious reports made against us, not as by the good teamwork executive. And I do not want only the team which is here to be part of us, but even up to the common people, the community members, the local leaders, the religious leaders, the cultural institutions. Let us all work together, and we shall be able to better services to them and reduce crime in society.
We need to prioritize community policing, which is a mechanism that connects the citizen to the police. If we prioritize community policing, we begin to see the gains of improved awareness and information by citizens. Citizens of Uganda will begin to know more and understand better the workings of the Uganda police force. and how they can play their role as citizens. So that is very key, and the communique emphasizes that. So in the next near future, we are going to see Uganda police force making reforms or strengthening their practices around how they do community policing. Secondly, we want to emphasize the point on the professional standards unit, which is a mechanism that checks and promotes internal accountability of police. The practice in Uganda right now, in terms of accountability and fighting corruption, is that the government emphasizes institutions to have internal self-checking mechanisms.
Especially for us in the political field, we want to ask police to respect the democratic principles that play out in the political space, to allow political parties registered in this country to operate and conduct their activities normally. The only area, of course, where we request them to always partner with us is on the provision of security when political parties are engaged in their mobilization activities. Because it is only important that there is always an alternative voice to that of the ruling government in order to put things right for the citizens of this country.
Today we have been delving into the outcome communique, but so to speak, to create more awareness around the outcome communique at the regional level and to ground our stakeholders in the region with more knowledge around the recommendations that were put forward in the communique. I therefore call upon people out there, stakeholders present, to jump on this opportunity and also focus on the campaign to popularize what was agreed upon on this day around the comprehensive reforms that should happen in the Uganda Police Force.
As government representatives, we shall continue to work hand in hand with everyone, every office and every institution for better service delivery.